Good morning.
Good morning, Jason. How's it going?
Oh my goodness.
Huh?
What are we doing?
Well, looks like we're going to be taking off exhaust and stock manifolds and doing a whole bunch of fun stuff on today. We have to put new bungs in too, so we'll have to check that out.
For the gauges?
Yeah, we're going to do the dual wideband gauge, so we got to put 2 extra bungs in. Look at that. Right.
Tips?
Mm-hmm.
X pipe? Mid pipe?
Yep. And look at this. We're not gonna need them. We got 3-inch already, so we're good to go.
Is that the adapter?
Yeah, this is to go down to, I think, 2.5. Oh, something we're not gonna need. Sensor 1. So we got bank 1, sensor 1. Bank 2, sensor 1. Bank 1, sensor 2. Bank 2, sensor 2. So we're gonna put ours here and here. All right, what we're gonna do is we're going to find the location to put the extra bungs in for the wideband 2 sensors and drill a hole so we can weld in the bungs. Like a 10-degree angle so that moisture can go out of the tip. So when we drill this hole, we get everything cleaned up, ready to go, and we're gonna go down the street. A buddy of ours does a lot of welding, so he's gonna weld this up for us all nice and neat. And we'll be good to go to get this thing installed.
So according to Ross and these 14-page instructions, this is not gonna be an easy process to get these things off because the header bolts are tucked underneath of the motor, the heads and the sides of the motor. So the goal for today is to get the car in the air, get the full exhaust, the stock exhaust and the stock headers completely off of the car, and then we'll pick back up tomorrow and put the new exhaust on and the new headers and start it up and see what it sounds like. So, but first we're gonna get a stock sound clip so that way we have a before and an after of what the sound sounds like. So the exhaust that's on this car currently is stock except for the mufflers, which are the Ford Performance mufflers. Which ones are they exactly?
They're the Roush Axleback.
Okay, so it's pretty much stock, but you can get them from Ford when you buy the car. Okay, so let's get a stockish, factory basically start up, cold start, completely cold. The car hasn't been started in a couple days, so. Yep. As you can hear, it's pretty loud as is right now. So, and it's gonna get even louder. So what did you just find in the instructions?
All right, so step 1. It states here to support the vehicle high enough off the ground so you can work easily under the car. And then in parentheses it says, please be very diligent when supporting the vehicle. You will not be able to enjoy your new exhaust system if the car falls on your head.
It really says that.
Yeah. Okay, so
Let's not do that.
let's get diligent about this.
Yeah, let's not do that.
I do this because otherwise the side's going to hit the lift arms.
Motor's coming apart.
We have to take the stock air box out and the battery cover out in order to gain access to the manifold bolts.
So the first piece has officially been removed from the vehicle.
Engine filter.
Yep.
Start with the top because then get the top ones out because then we can do everything from underneath. So
then once the car's up in the air, we don't have to put it back down.
that's what they're saying. So we'll see if that's true or not. We're gonna pull the battery out and the battery tray and this panel over here, it looks like, so we can gain access to the bolts down there. Well, gives us a little bit more room.
So you're gonna take the top bolts off
I'm gonna take as many bolts off as I can from up here.
before putting the car in the air.
Yep.
So there's 4 bolts on the top and 4 bolts on the bottom. So before we put the car in the air,
I'm trying to see if I
we're
can
gonna
get
try
off.
and see if we can get these top bolts off first.
Alright, so we're going to take down the factory catback here. Looks like we got 4 bolts here. Got a couple hangers back here, so hopefully we take out those 4 bolts, we'll be able to slide it off, undo the hangers, and on the floor it'll be.
Can we take it all down in one piece?
I think that's the plan. Take it down, move it off to the side. The next thing is probably going to be unplugging the 2 sensors, just so they're done.
Per the instructions and per our observations, it's almost mandatory to take off the starter to get to the bolts on the passenger side.
Yep.
So
So we're taking the starter out. 3. We're taking out the motor mounts so that we can gain access to the rest of the bolts. Take that.
there's one.
catch it. Ready?
Yep.
Look at that. A little bit of a difference.
Hey Ross, why are the new headers and mid-pipes a different color than the rest of the new exhaust?
The headers are used off of a vehicle that had 200 miles on it, and the catback is all brand new that we got right from Corsa.
Well, factory exhaust is officially out of the car. The instructions didn't lie. It was fairly difficult. Took us a while, but hopefully the new one goes in a whole lot easier than the old one came out. It's gonna be it for today, and we'll pick back up tomorrow. Hopefully get this all bolted up and we'll be able to start it for the first time. So, cool. Good morning.
Morning.
Exhaust install day 2.
Day 2.
What's the game plan?
Well, what we're gonna do is we're gonna swap over the 2 sensors from the factory manifolds. So we got these 2 here, which are gonna go into the manifolds here and over there. And then we got these 2 on the cats. They're gonna go down here. And we have these 2 bungs that we installed yesterday that we're gonna use to put in our GlowShift Dual Wideband Gauge. So we'll get to that a little bit later today. But once we get the 2 sensors swapped over, we're gonna put the headers up into the motor, drop the motor back down into the motor mounts, hang the rest of the exhaust, and hopefully this afternoon we'll be able to start it up and see what it sounds like. Putting the header up in place to see if I have clearance. And it looks like I'm gonna have to take out 1 or 2 studs in order to get all the way up in there. It's not a big deal. I'm gonna do that now. Upper rear stud's gonna have to come out for sure. And we may have to take out the lower rear stud. We'll put our gasket on now so we don't have to worry about it later. Look at that. Like it was meant to be there. Put my stud back in. Open the top here. Take out this lower rear stud and see if that's enough. Hey, it fits.
Get it up there?
Yeah, I gotta take it off though for the gasket.
I should put the gasket on there first.
Well, I was test fitting it. I didn't think it was gonna go up.
Last time. Don't forget the gasket this time, Rob.
I didn't forget the gasket. I was test fitting. Watch me not be able to get it now.
Well, this would be the 3rd time now. So.
Hey, I got it. Hand me a bolt. Let's see how hard it is to put these bolts back in. It didn't fall on my head. "20 minutes later, the car comes down.
All right, now that all the bolts are back on to the header, we're gonna go ahead and put the battery back on, the intake back on before we put the car back up in the air and get the rest of the exhaust bolted up. And yeah, so let's go.
I am connecting the O2 sensor extension wires because the O2 sensors are now further back for the headers. This plugs in here. All right, let's set the mid pipes in place and get ready to run the rest of the catback. All right, we ready for the catback? Mm-hmm. All right. Here goes our X pipe. They look pretty good. What do you think?
I like them.
All right.
Are they bigger than the other ones? Yeah, they look good.
A little bigger. All right, we'll tighten everything up. All right, let's do a start.
Ready to bring her down?
Yeah. Do it. Are we ready? Let's go.
Oh, I know it's loud. Car's warm, so
Warm-ish.
warmish.
Ready?
God.
Good.
That's not that bad.
No.
So, interior driving shots to get the sound, the sense of the sound. A little bit of the power increase. Hopefully they can hear us with the microphone over the exhaust.
stock anymore.
That would scare people.
I don't think your microphone's gonna be able to tell people how loud this thing really is.
Nah, it's one of those things where you have to feel it in person to really get a full sense of how loud it is.
This video isn't gonna do the sound justice at all.
All right, so because we decided to do the first startup yesterday and take it for some test drives, we thought it'd be a good idea to let it sit overnight and let the engine cool down and the exhaust. So today we're gonna put in the wideband sensors for the gauge, the GlowShift gauge. We are going to eventually switch out this panel right here for, what's it called?
Performance pack dash panel.
Performance pack dash panel, which is going to give us two vents and two gauges. So the wideband gauge will end up going here, but to get the sensor wires up, through the engine bay and into the cabin here, we're going to run it through the firewall where this thing goes through, and this is...
It's a sound tube to give engine noises to the driver, so they could have a better driving experience, is what I read online.
So it doesn't actually do anything besides filter sound.
It puts noise into the driver area because I guess the firewall's thick and there's a lot of sound deadening, so you don't really hear the engine. So they try to make it so you can have more engine noise.
All right, so
we're taking it out.
We're going to take that out and we're going to feed the wideband sensors once we get them installed on the exhaust, up through the engine bay, through the firewall, into the cabin. So we're going to push it onto the lift, and
we're going to take some O2 sensors out. All right, so yesterday when we put everything back in, we're putting everything up, we noticed our rear O2 sensors, no matter what we tried, didn't quite reach on this side. So the solution for that is we got our O2 sensor bungs that we welded in for our wideband gauge earlier on the table. We're going to actually move our rear sensors up to these bungs, and we're going to put our wideband ones over in the rear bungs back here. So we're just going to take the factory sensors, move them up, and we're good to go. Fix our problem with the length of the wires. Hey, look at this. Our sound machine. Delete it. Kit we had has this cap, so we can cap off the intake, and a hose clamp. We're gonna put that on for the time being. When we do the supercharger, all this is gonna come off anyway, but we'll put it on for right now. Yeah.
Ready.
Yeah. There we go. They're tucked.
Put them under the seat.
They're under the seat. They're next to the seat. Look at that.
All right, that's it for episode 2. The exhaust and headers are on the car, and the verdict is it is not quiet.
Not quiet at all.
So on the next episode, we're gonna dive into putting on the supercharger and getting this thing laying down some real power. If you're not already subscribed, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of the action, and I'll see you on the next one.
Got him. All right, there's more coolant in there.